Good morning. This is Dee, and this is Critical Break. Happy Sunday, everybody. It is September the 2nd, 2018, and it is noon. I hope everybody had a really great week. So many moments this week of learning new things and spending time with some of you, chatting, which was awesome. I really do enjoy the time I get to spend with you guys individually. And yay, it's Sunday. That's all I can say. It's just been one of those weeks. It's like because I've witnessed some things that were disturbing, but we all will, and we need to learn how to put that negative energy, take that, transmute it, and not let it cause us any fear, and try to lighten the load of those that did get some trauma because of it. But I'll address that in a little bit. But anyway, I'm gonna see what everybody is up to. I know it has been so much going on. I have Adonai here this morning. Gabriel's not here. He was this morning when I first got up, but he's not here now. So anyway, let's see. We'll begin with this. I've got I try to preface my streams with this so that people, for the first time coming here, understand what it is that I'm trying to do. The work that I do here is for all religions and all races and all backgrounds, no matter what your beliefs are. Doesn't matter what your religious or political affiliations are. Doesn't matter what country you're from. This is for everybody. Some of it are messages directly from Adonai and Gabriel, and I'm sharing my experience with them and my experiences with my life in general. And I'm documenting my journey here on what we call this place, the holodeck, the planet, Earth, Gaia. You know, when I was a child, before trauma, I knew deep inside me that there was something off, something not quite right. You probably all did. Something just didn't feel right with the way everything's set up, the system. You were told to stop daydreaming. Stop asking the question why. And that is part of the virus, the evil on this planet that has been taking place for eons. You indeed are made in the image of the Creator. You are all junior creators. Take a moment to think about what that means. You are far more powerful than it was ever let be known. Part of my mission here is to remind you of that. I have other missions that are attached to that, multi-pronged. I'm here to help you understand how to quit feeding the virus. That's what I call evil. It is a virus. And just like a virus, it penetrates into everything. You must ask yourself when viewing this material, could what I am saying possibly be true? Please don't leave in judgment based on preconceived notions or programming. Try to connect with your inner true self, that little child, that inner soul when viewing this material. Anyway, happy Sunday. Lots to share. Get this closed. The last video, I know, probably made some of you go, what? And I plan on going into a little more detail on that today. There's several things to cover today, so I'm going to get right to it. Number one, like I've always told everybody, I am using the virus's systems against itself. So I had been reluctant to open up the Facebook page for this stream. And I did so this week because something told me I should, as far as using the virus against itself. So I did indeed republish that page this week. And if you guys find even an ounce of the material I do here resonates with your inner soul, then if you would please share the information, because the more people that know what's really going on here, the faster we're going to get through this and come out the other side. Anyway, I wanted to share that with everybody. And upon opening up that Facebook page, I shared it with everybody on my friends list. So it's going to be interesting to see how people take some of this information. Just let me say this. Do try to keep your hearts and your minds open to what is presented here. I've been on a journey seeking answers because I never stopped asking why. Those thoughts never left me. So during the time that I became extremely ill because of genetics, during that time, I spent a good deal of time researching the answers to those why questions. Because when you're that sick, what else can you do? So, anyway, so I hope you stick around and try to be open-minded and try to not let certain information shut you down. Okay? Because I do realize that some of this is going to challenge everything you've been told. I do know this. So anyway, the other thing, I had, good morning, Miss Karen. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the conversations I get to have with many of you. It's so nice. let's put it this way. If you have somebody that is that's truly here trying to help and trying to help guide people, first of all, this to me is an educational process. It's a spiritual process. And if you have anybody, let's put it this way, I invite you to ask questions. You know, the why? You should ask questions from me or anybody else that presents you with anything. If they don't like the fact that you're questioning them, there's a problem. There's a serious problem. So try to keep that in mind when you're looking at other spiritual guidance on this planet, no matter what that is. I don't care what religion, I don't care what guru, I don't care who it is. They are all up to be questioned and always should be. And if they don't like being questioned, there's a problem, a big problem. So, anyway, I invite you all because this is an educational process, not only for you all, but for me too. I invite those questions. And if I can't answer them, I will try to find out why. And if you all have already found out why to a question that I haven't and that I'm unable to answer, then I invite you, please share it. Please. Because this is a process for all of us. This waking up to what the reality that's really going on here. And so those that don't like this questioning, then you need to question why don't they like it. Um, so please, please feel free to ask questions anytime. That's what we're all here for. And like I said, that little inner kid inside of me never quit asking why. And you guys shouldn't either. This system has been set up. Good morning, Pat. It's great to see you. Yeah, it's just the questioning. It never left me. And it shouldn't you. And you all should question me always. Anybody that is trying to guide you in a spiritual manner should be free game to be questioned. Me included, Adonai included, Gabriel included, because they don't mind answering questions. Do I feel bad for bothering them? You know, sometimes people ask me, can you ask Gabriel or can you ask Adonai a certain question? And I feel bad for bothering them because I know just how busy they are, coming and going a lot, especially Gabriel lately. But they're here to do what I'm here to do, and that's rid the planet of the virus, aka evil. So anyway, so do question. I don't feel bad about asking me questions. Now, as far as me directly asking Adonai or Gabriel, I can try, but I always feel bad when I do. So if it's something I can't answer, I will go to them. But good morning, Sunrise. Great to see you. Anyway, but yes, questions. Please bring them always. We're all here to learn, all of us, including me. Okay? There was one thing that I wanted to make really clear. when I'm presenting material to you all, it's not to instill fear or trauma. It is to arm you with spiritual information that will help guide you in your lives. So please, I want it to empower you and make you stronger and make you realize exactly. It's kind of like you have to see the dark side so you can walk in the light side. And there is a false light. That's what's, and so if I don't tell you the truth, and be all love and light and warm and fuzzy all the time, I would be denying you the truth. And that I can't do that. But I want this to arm you so that you can live without fear and avoid trauma. And when trauma steps on your doorstep, because it will, the virus is here. And the more people, when they wake up, the virus tends to kind of go at you a bit. So being able to deflect that is important. So anyway, I witnessed something this week. One of the people that come here, one of the other spiritual beings, shared a link with me. And I viewed something that nearly put me in tears. And you all know, and if you don't know how I feel about you all, and how Adonai feels, how Gabriel feels about you all, it is pure adoration and amazement. Adoration is respect and love all at the same time. And I watched, if you belong to communities that are of some sort of spiritual basis of any kind or background, and you witness anything where somebody else in your community is publicly shamed or publicly attacked verbally in front of the rest of the people in your community, that's the virus. I have witnessed something that was vile. And I could feel, literally, like I said, I'm an empath. And I could feel the loathing and the energy coming across. And it didn't scare me. It angered me. And it made me really, my empathy for the person that was being publicly shamed and assaulted like that in front of the rest of the community. I was appalled. That is not a spiritual leader. That is not something you should ever follow. Someone that would do that to someone else, that is the virus. So, what I witnessed, and then other people that are infected with the virus, they will jump on that person too. It's like piranhas, like sharks, a feeding frenzy on an individual. That is trauma on a grand scale. So anyone that doesn't like being questioned or would reduce to publicly shaming somebody else in the community, that's the virus. That's never allowed here, ever. This is not a room or a place to feed off somebody else's energy because of trauma. So, just so you all are aware of that, none of that will ever happen. And if anybody that is infected with the virus comes into the chat room, they will be promptly removed. Because I don't want you all assaulted in such a manner ever. This is supposed, when we're sharing each other's experiences and learning together, there's no room for trauma. The virus is not ever welcome here. I just wanted you all to know that. So, and make you aware that if somebody ever doesn't like being questioned, that's a huge red flag. I've been seeing a lot of red flags lately, and it's like, oh no, these poor people. It for me personally, it was like my insides, because I could feel what was happening there. I could feel the loathing and the anger and the venom. And I could also feel the person that was being assaulted and some of the other people that were witness to what was occurring. I could feel them going, it was really horrible. And yeah, it's not cool. It's just not cool, ever. Public shaming is part of the virus that I talk about. I'm going to read the chat and see how everybody's doing. Oh, super good morning to all of you. Miss Pat, once I became aware, I realized it is still multi-layered. I am now releasing conditional awareness into freedom and naked awareness. We are remembering who we really are. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's so sweet. I love you too. Yeah. So please do share this with your friends and anybody you care about. They need to know. That should never be acceptable or tolerated ever. Because trauma just isn't acceptable, and it never should have been. Okay, so I got that out of the way. I just wanted to address that because I was made aware of that video, and when I looked at it, I was like almost in tears and overwhelmed because the emotions coming out of that were just, oh, it's the virus. Okay, what else were we going to talk about today? Why can't I read my own writing? I jotted this down real quick. A lot of times I don't even, sometimes I know exactly what I'm going to speak about with you all. And other times I just go with my inner thoughts and discussions with Adonai or Gabriel or both of them. Sometimes it's things just pop up in daily life that, become a topic on the Sunday shows, the live streams. So let's see, what was this? Let me see what I got here. I scribbled. Oh, yeah, I already covered that. You know, someone brought up that they were a Moses, that they were being used in the role of a Moses. You know, having the benefit of reading a lot of the ancient text, I'm going to share something with you. And this kind of pertains to the virus and some of the things that go on. First of all, well, we'll just look at the pictures. Pictures speak 1,000 words many times. So we are going to look at the pictures. Let me share screen. I think that'll help. This is a picture of Moses. Another picture of Moses. 10 Commandments. Another picture of Moses. Another depiction of Moses. Another depiction of Moses. Another depiction of Moses. 10 Commandments here, right? What do you see? What did you notice in those pictures of Moses? Yeah, horns. Absolutely right. What did I tell you all about the 10 Commandments? You don't need a book to tell you what's right and wrong. It's written inside of you by the Creator. You don't need a book. You ask yourself, why is Moses depicted with horns? And if you want to know the answer to that question, you should look. That's a problem today. It's been a problem for eons. That people sign up with different religions, different political affiliations, and they don't ask why. What's behind it, really? And I hope what I share with you all helps spark some things inside of you that start asking why. It's important. It's important to your families. It's important to your children. It's important to how everything plays out on this planet. And so many people just blindly jump on those bandwagons. And those bandwagons are put there. Those religions, those political affiliations. They're put there. Those are imaginary fences put there to keep you divided and fighting among yourselves. That's the virus. Anything that seeks to divide you, whether it be by race, religion, political affiliation, sexual preferences, anything that seeks to divide you is the virus, and it's pure evil. And people just forgot to ask why. They're like, oh, this sounds good because everybody else is doing it. A bunch of people jumped on that Keck cult. Yay, this is kind of cool. It's the in thing now. We're going to do Keck. No, 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 no. It's blindly following is the worst possible thing you could possibly do. Unfortunately, because of the amnesia, the species with amnesia, you've forgotten you are junior creators created in the image of the creator. And once again, I'm here to remind you of that. You should always question everything. Good morning, Pavel. It's great to see you. So always question everything. Don't join cults. Don't join anything. It's there to divide you. Because as long as you're divided and fighting, you don't see the virus for what it is. So there was a comment about somebody being their Moses in some grand scheme to subvert. The true God does not subvert. There's no subversion. There's no grand play. And it's true, this is a spiritual battle. Problem is the virus infiltrates everything. And being able to recognize it for what it is what I'm trying to help you all with. So now that you've seen, I mean, part of the cosmic laws on this planet and everywhere, the virus has to blatantly in your face tell you what it is. Right in your face. And people miss it. And it's right there all the time. It's right there all the time. If you got a TV on, it's right there in front of you all the time. There's subliminal messaging. There's outright blatant shows totally devoted to the virus. The news is intended to traumatize you. Why do you think you feel anxious and angry after watching the news? Because it's there to traumatize you and then feed off your negative energy. That's what evil likes. It likes negative energy, especially fear, because there's a special kind of energy we release when we're scared and in fear. So make sure you keep that in mind. So now anybody that identifies themselves as Moses, you know what you're looking at. Okay? All right. Any questions? Because like I said, I welcome questions. Not only is it a learning experience for you, but for me as well. So questions are always, please throw them at me. Something pops in your head and you have a question, If I can't answer it, we'll find out together. Okay, no questions yet? Oh, wait, just a few more seconds because I know there's some lag time. I'm hoping that everybody that comes here benefits from all that research I've done all these years. Research into all the different religions because I was seeking what religion feels right. And then when you look at all of them and you get a good inside look at each one of those and you start seeing the virus playing out inside of those religions. And then you realize everything's been infiltrated. And you start trying to find out why. That's what I did. And so I'm trying to share that with everybody so that they understand what I understand and learn more. Because this is an ongoing process. Like I said, I don't know everything. Definitely don't. There's much more to learn. There's so much more I'd like to so many things that you would not believe. The folders and bookmarks I have of things that I want to look into. It's crazy. Anyway, yeah. Yeah. So now that you saw the Moses thing, I was going to go on to a little bit more information based off my last video about the virus and the cults and who QAnon was, which is basically another cult because it's got a cult following. And when you have a cult situation, the followers inside there, if anybody questions or does what should naturally be happening and they get attacked, well, you got a virus. And that's what these cults are. Many of them, unfortunately. So, let's see. I was going to go into a little more information on that because it's in the headlines and I'm sure they're, one thing I want to stress. People are all of us, most of us were born into some sort of religion or religious practice. And we don't ask why because we're told to toe the line and, children do what's expected of them. And that's to follow their parents' cues. And that's, I think, why, and you're told not to ask why, especially if they can't answer the question. You just get, I don't know. You end up blindly following things because of trust. And I don't want you to lose trust. But do ask why. Okay? So we're going to, the other thing I wanted to say is, joined up with that is there's many, 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 many people that are of the Catholic faith or the Jewish faith. They're born into it. They are not bad people. They're just like you and me. And they were led by their parents, just like you and me. They never, the virus keeps everybody so busy on their hamster wheels, just trying to make ends meet and to get by, that they don't have time to do the homework, to research what's really going on here, and to really look at their religion and its background. They don't have time or the benefit of studying ancient text and putting two and two together, the breadcrumbs. So, treating somebody badly based on their religion is not acceptable. Getting rid of the virus is acceptable. That's what our goal is. A thorough cleansing, a fresh, clean start for everybody. So when I present this material, always know that it's not the average everyday people that are a problem. It's the leadership that is the problem, because the virus is infiltrated. Okay? So I'm going to share some things that are going to shock some people, because they didn't even know this about their own religion. Okay? And I just want everybody, to keep that in mind in the back of your head always. It's not everybody. It is key players that are the virus. Okay? Anyway, let me pull up what I want real quick, and then we'll share screen. Okay. Okie dokie, I think I got it. Pretty sure. So I'm going to share screen. Here we go. All right. I'm going to pull up the chat too, in case anybody has questions. You see what we're viewing here? Let me kind of pull this off there so you guys can see that. Do any of you happen to know what that is? What is this place we're looking at? This is called the Pope's Audience Hall. This is located in Rome. Now, what do you see? A viper, yes. A snake, indeed. And there's a big story behind the snake's symbolism, is there not? Huge story behind the snake. The snake is a symbol of one of the 12 tribes of Dan. Okay? That is a snake you're looking at. The building resembles a snake, right down to the scales, right down to the eyes, slit eyes, the pits, the fangs, the tongue, the shape of the head, the roof, the red interior of the mouth, and what speaks for the snake? Well, it is the Pope's audience hall, so it would be the Pope, correct? We'll go on to the next picture. This is a picture of the outside of that building. Indeed, a snake. Good morning, Sir O.R. It's great to see you, sir. Do you see the shape of that building? Wider at the back, right here. The back of the head, the eyes, the slope, the nose is up here. This is the Pope's audience hall. Let's look at some more things that you're going to find very interesting. Here's the Pope. What does this sculpture remind you of? This is inside. This is in the center of that audience hall, from the center of the snake's mouth. What does that remind you of? And yes, there's a winged being. I tell you what it reminds me of. It reminds me of souls twisting in hell. That's exactly what it reminds me of. Because I visually see things many of others do not. And I've seen this very thing before. And that's what it looks like to me. A bunch of souls languishing in anguish. With an angel. And you have to ask yourself, who are these people representing? What are they representing? We'll go on to the next picture. Here we go with the ancient, some of the ancient knowledge I have. I don't have all of it, but I've got a great deal, enough to put the dots together. This, if you ever read the Sumerian text about the stories of the Enki and Enlil and Anu and all that, this is Enki. Notice the symbolism on the Pope. matches up, right? This is Inky, a depiction of Inky. Notice his very strange head garb. A fish, scales, or a sort of fish, right? Now, the Pope wears a mitre. Looks oddly like the hat on Inky, does it not? The mitre hat from Babylon. Dagon, Inky, Neptune, Poseidon, and all the many names, like I've explained to you all. Many of these gods, or self-proclaimed gods, have a whole bunch of different names, but it's all the same being. It's just eons of different cultures and languages on the planet have caused some of that confusion because they all give them different names. It's all the same deity. Something people don't seem to realize. They read their Bibles and they're told that there's one God in there. That teaching, that doctrine is incorrect. There are multiple gods talked about in that Bible. There's also multiple Satans talked about in that Bible. The grand deception. And some of those that are talked about in that Bible are this very being right here. Okay? Look at chat and see if anybody has any comments or questions or anything so far. I don't see anything yet, so I'll move to the next picture. There we go with the Pope. And who has their claws into that religion? The Pope is speaking out of the serpent's mouth. Now, something you need to understand. When there's something big, like the possibility of aliens or things that involve any sort of religious connotation with our government, do you know who they consult? They consult the Vatican. Why? You need to ask why. Why would our government, and that means all of them, why would they consult Rome, the Vatican? Why would they do that? Got to ask these questions. Why? This question why is super important to all of us. And if people don't start asking these questions and start questioning, this place is going to become much worse. Now, like I said, we won, but it doesn't mean on the planet we won on a dimensional astral level. But right here on this planet, we got to hold up our end and stop this evil that's here. Because we have to help ourselves, and we have to remember who and what we really are. Just another sculpture. Notice that also looks oddly like the Kabbalistic tree. Just FYI. And something else I want you to look at. Look at this particular hat the Pope wears. That is called a kippa. It's also got other names, but now you're going to find something else really interesting. By the way, I want to go back to this picture real quick. This is a personal thing for me, and it may be with many of you. Or you may not have really thought about it too much, but I ask you to think of this. Showing somebody that was persecuted and killed in this method, this symbolization, to me, is like mocking it. This is mockery of somebody that's been severely traumatized. A crucifix is the mocking of somebody that was killed in such a brutal way. I won't have anything to do with it. Just saying. Think about it. Just think. Why would they put that representation on front of the cross? To traumatize you over and over and over again. This is the hat that the Pope wears. Keep in mind, well, I thought Jewish and Catholics were two different faiths. Didn't you? Didn't you think they were two different faiths? Two different religions? Why? Again, ask that question, why? Why is the Pope wearing a Jewish hat? It's a darn right good question, isn't it? One everybody should be asking. Who is that? Biden. You know, I watched a brief interview that a reporter did of Biden just as he was coming out of some sort of engagement of some sort. And the reporter asked him directly, point blank, "Are you a Zionist?" And he said, "Yes, I am, and I'm proud of it." You can look that up if you don't believe me. Because like I said, you should question everything, even me. Remember I shared with you that Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion? Let me introduce you to Zion. President Obama with one of those hats on. Giuliani with one of those hats on. What? Clinton with one of those hats on. Yep, with one of those hats on. Wow, yep, this one's got that hat on too. Oh, but it's not just the US. Tony Blair, UK. And what's this? Prince Charles with that hat on. And what's this? Could it be with that hat on? Vladimir Putin, right? What's this? Where is he standing? You know who this is, don't you? Look at what kind of hat he's got on. And where is he standing? This is called the Wailing Wall. This is the Wailing Wall. What kind of hat are we wearing? It's Obama, by the way. McCain at the wall with the hat. Oh, what's this? Is that our current sitting POTUS with the hat at the wall? Any thoughts about what I just showed you and what it means to all of us? Hello, Sir Tony. Any ideas on what that means to all of us? Why are all those people wearing that hat? And ask the question, aren't Jewish and Catholics two different things? They're supposedly inherently different, aren't they? Supposedly. Also know this, that Vatican controls all the information that you get when it comes to media in general, including publishing houses, the books your kids get at school, your Bibles. And I can prove they tampered with the ancient text. Absolutely prove it, 100%. We have virus here. People that say that evil doesn't exist, they're liars. They're lying to you. They don't want you to realize it's there. Wouldn't somebody that's being guided by something that is related to the virus, wouldn't they be telling you that evil doesn't exist? Because if you're unaware, as you have been all these years walking around in this deluded reality, unaware of what is happening here, the virus can perpetuate and grow as long as you're unaware. Right? And you have to, another question you need to ask yourself. You saw that picture of Trump and the Clintons having a grand old time together behind the scenes. And you see all of them, Democrat or Republican, doesn't matter, all with the same hat on, all at that same wall. All the world is indeed a stage, and they are merely actors. They're all actors. You have to remember that this virus owns Hollywood. They put on the best scripts and the best movies, don't they? Right? Yeah, and they're pushing the one world order with the UN. We don't need a one world order. We need one world peace. And that's ridding us of this virus. Right? There's so much I have to share with you all, things that I do know, things that I'm learning, new things. You know, it's interesting. When you become awake, sometimes the virus will try to get at you. And if it can't get at you while you're awake and aware, it will try to go at you in your dreams. Serotonin. One, I was warned by the virus. Or let's put it this way, the virus wanted me to shut up. And I was issued a threat, a warning to shut my mouth. I was told that I could expect to find my free agent, the kitty cat, Ambrose. I was told I would find him in the lost baggage claim check. That's what I was told. It was a direct threat telling me not to do these videos, not to try to wake people up. And shortly after that is when his leg was broken. Thankfully, I'm at least aware enough of what I am that I was able to heal him. You all can do that too, by the way. Some of you may have stronger gifts than that. We all have varying levels of gifts. Where I might be weak, somebody else may be a little stronger. That's great. But you all do have these gifts. Yeah, for real, Sir Tony. And now they're using it on you. That's why I said I was a little worried about the dreams you're having. Sir Tony had a dream about my cat. They will go after the things you love. But you can't let it dissuade you. So, anyway, some more I need to share with you about what I've been sharing for the most part today, and that's the virus and how to spot it, and some of the breadcrumbs to leave you with those questions in your head. Why? You need to keep asking why. So here we go. Let me get it set up before I start sharing the screen. Okay. Close that. All right. Here we go. More enlightenment coming. All right. I just got done showing you the 12 tribes of Dan, the representation of the snake, where it came from ancient Mesopotamia. So the Sumerian tablets, important stories in that in those tablets. Not that those have even been tampered with to some degree. But yes, still, it's what your Bible is based off of. It's what any of the Abrahamic religions are based off of. Okay. Here we go. This is the morning call. Pennsylvania grand jury finds some police and district attorneys helped Catholic Church cover up priest abuse. I, for one, I am not surprised. This virus has infiltrated everything like an insidious, creeping web. And I mean, it's penetrated into everything. The system and the situation has perpetuated itself. And people, because of the trauma that they have endured since they were born, and trying and figuring out just being a normal, good person doesn't get you ahead in life, you start acting like the virus does to get ahead. And then not only that, but the virus uses, think of the virus as the mob, like AKA gangsters, okay? They subvert, they blackmail people, they will set them up, they will they will stop at nothing to get their agenda done. And that has creeped down from the highest levels of your governments. It has creeped down into your local governments, even, including the police, the military, and everything else. It's insidious. It is in everything. including DAs, you name it. Why do you think people can't seem to get a fair trial? Or why it costs them utter fortunes to have something settled in court that shouldn't ever cost them a dime? The system is set up for you to fail unless you go along with the snake. Okay? So even people that were coming forward that had been abused by the system in a perverted sexual manner could not find justice because it was being buried by the very people that are supposed to be protecting you. And this isn't just Pennsylvania. This is everywhere. Let me repeat, everywhere. There isn't one place that I know of that is untouched because this has been let go on and perpetuated for eons, eons and eons and eons. This is just Pennsylvania. This is just one state. And let me remind you that because of shame and not wanting to go through the trauma again and again and again, many have not come forward. This is just who came forward. 1,000, over 1,000, just in Pennsylvania. And let me tell you something. This isn't just the Catholic Church that's got a problem. This problem is on the planet. The entire planet is infested with this problem, the virus. Okay? This is New York Times. I'm actually shocked that they're even reporting on these things, but at the same time not, because they have to tell the truth mixed in with their lies. So, because that's their playbook, that playbook I shared with you all in the last video, the protocols of the learned elders of Zion. That's their playbook. So when they report some of this, it's to re-traumatize, okay? So do keep that in mind, because because the virus will feed from your emotion that this elicits, okay? And that's why I'm trying to educate you all on how the virus operates here, okay? More than 300 priests. Trust me, the number is much higher. That's just what they could come up with solid evidence. And you do have to remember, this is just the people that have come forward. Does not count the ones that have not, and you can bank that that's probably a far greater number. Time's up. Yeah, time is up. Time is up. The virus, it's time for us to shake ourselves of this thing. And not just in the churches. I mean, shake our planet of this. Because this has infiltrated your educational systems. It's infiltrated everything that you hold dear. Everything. And these charges of this stuff has come up against this church and other churches before. And it's just silently slid out of the public eye. And nothing is ever done about it. Nothing. Because they keep everybody busy on those hamster wheels, don't they? They've got everybody so busy that both parents have to work to make ends meet. This whole system is trauma-based. The entire system is trauma-based. Let me share one last thing with you regarding the Vatican and the Catholic Church. Popular Science magazine. Lucifer instrument helps astronomers see through darkness to most distant observable objects. Lucifer, huh? Lucifer? Well, what is Lucifer and where is it located? And who owns Lucifer? A picture courtesy of Lucifer, by the way. This is a telescope located in Arizona. Yes, it's named Lucifer. But let's do this together. Vatican-owned telescope. Oh, what's this? Arizona. That's Lucifer. The Vatican owns a telescope named Lucifer. Can anybody drop any bigger bombshell or hint on anybody else? I've showed you the trail of your government officials wearing the exact same hat. Those made up parties, those political divides, those religious divides, it's all fences, fake walls to keep you all divided. And they're all playing for the same team, and that's Team Virus, Team Evil. And I'm not joking. There's much more I could show you. Much more. But I don't want to overwhelm you with too much all at once. But like I said, this is not to make you be in fear. This is to empower you. And like I said, once again, I am here to remind you who and what you truly are. They don't want you to remember that, because if you do, this BS is over. Okay? So I'm going to stop sharing, come back to my